Good morning. Today is February 12th, 2025. I'm going to share an important insight here thanks to someone I've met. Family courts are good at taking your time and money. Family courts are great at giving you tons of paperwork to fill out. What they're not so good at is solving family problems. One reason why is that courts and the people who work in family courts make money the longer this conflict goes on. But there's also another reason why family courts are really bad at solving family problems. And if you thought it was just because they're after your money, it's actually worse. Most family court professionals, and I say most, not all, lawyers, judges, psychologists, social workers, evaluators, actually don't know how to solve the problem. They are always looking at who is to blame. They're going to spend a lot of time trying to find out, is this really alienation? Which one way to define it is that alienation is an unjustified reason for your child to not want to see you. It's because they've been brainwashed. They're being rewarded for not seeing you. They're not being allowed to see you. And estrangement is that they have a justifiable reason for not seeing you. And they're going to spend a lot of time figuring out in which category you belong in. But what reunites families suffering from parental alienation, estrangement, resist, refuse, emotional cutoff, whatever you want to call it, is to work on how we can change the dynamic and to stop applying blame to the situation. Family courts take families that are upset at each other, that are fighting with each other, they can't be in the same room together, and try to find who's at fault. And the answer is nobody and everybody is at fault. It is completely pointless to find someone to blame, but that's all courts can do. They are justice machines, admitting out justice, but a family doesn't need justice. What they need is healing. A family needs new skills, not a determination of who's right and who's wrong. And even if the family court determines that you are not to blame, that the other parent is to blame, the best they can do is give you an order. That order needs to be enforced. Family court does not have a police department. The police often don't want to enforce civil orders. So guess what? You're going to have to go back to court over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, until your kids say they don't want to see you. And the judge says the kids say they don't want to see you. Or until your kids get to be over 18 and the courts can't do anything. So the first thing that we're going to do to get out of this mess and to get the children out of this mess, and here's a little secret, the children's children and their children, because this can go on for generations, is we're going to forgive ourselves. We're going to stop blaming ourselves for any mistake we've made in the past. We're doing the best we knew how to do in a very tough situation. We're going to stop blaming the other parent, who's probably acting on unhealed trauma. This is not a past to forget, or to let it go, or to say they're not at fault. Instead, just to say they're behaving irrationally because they are unable to rationally act, because they are victims of unhealed trauma. We all are. And the children have been raised by traumatized persons, so they're going to show up with a lot of trauma responses too. The more that we can better manage our reactions and our emotions by learning how to be emotionally stoic and strong, and respond instead of reacting, getting rid of trauma responses and focusing on what one can manage, oneself, the more each of us will be able to manage the issues bit by bit, the more we will be able to have small victories that will lead up to better outcomes for our beloved children. Stop the blame game and start the healing game. And once you begin to heal, you'll realize you'll need new ways to communicate. These can be templates to follow, but also just ways to determine what is best for us and our children in that exact precise moment, the present. To trust our own instincts again. Alienation and estrangement have robbed parents and children of our instincts, of knowing what to do as a parent and as a child. The more each person begins to heal and learn skills, the more you'll take your personal power back as a parent, as a child, as a person. Thank you, and be well, everyone.